Hi there. We're going to make some cauliflower soup today. And you know the old saying is, so start without me? Well, I started without you for a little bit. I wanted to show you that I started that cauliflower and I wanted to steam it in some, we had BLTs again this morning, so the little bit in the pan and a little bit of fat that was left, I added some water to it and I'm steaming that cauliflower. And so I'm also starting a pot here of some vegetables to get our soup going. Carrots and celery and onion, that same old thing. I'm going to add some chicken stock to that. And we're going to do that right now. And here's my pot. I'm going to take this, ooh, that's too hot. So here, let's grab this. All right, I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of our Watkins chicken soup base with my cauliflower soup. So 1, 2. All right. As for the cauliflower itself, I just salted it a little bit. So we're just going to stir this soup up a little. The stock, I mean, because that's what we're making right now. And then once that cauliflower is really nice and tender, I'm going to incorporate it into that pot that we've got going. I'm going to show it to you. So here's the stock that I put about 4 to 5 cups of water in there, an onion and a half, 2 sticks of celery, and 3 carrots. Okay, and then I added the soup stock, about 2 tablespoons. Now my cauliflower is getting tender, and it has a nice a base here. Let me see if I can hold this without moving it. It's hard to get. All right, so I'm going to show you at the bottom of this pan here. See, there's the bacon. See how that's looking there? I wanted to get that in there. So I think I'm gonna be taking this out and adding a little water to it. We'll get right back. So here we are. That stock is going really nicely. I cut up some potatoes that I also want to add to that, so I'm gonna put them in there. The cauliflower it's beautiful. It's done, and it sucked up all that bacon goodness, and I have some bacon left over. So I'm gonna add that to the cauliflower on the top. I wanted to show that to you. Here we are with the cauliflower. I don't know. No, that's not good. Let's bring it down. There's the cauliflower. You see how it just browned up and just sucked up all that. I just had a little, you know how you have in the bottom of the pan with about 1 tablespoon or 2 of bacon fat? I added some water to it. And look what happens. It's just beautiful. It's got that bacon in it, and it sucked all the water up because I just covered it and kept steaming it, and it's completely tender, completely. So I don't even know if I'm gonna put it to a blender because it's kind of nice to have little chunks. Well, we're not there quite yet. So now I'm also gonna add the bacon to that soup, and we're gonna do that right now. So while it's boiling here in the pot, in this pot here, I'm putting it in with the potatoes. So everything's better with bacon. Now I had a roux left over. I made some chicken fried steaks, and I made extra roux from an onion. And if you see that video, I'm sure that I'll be running it soon, and then you'll see how I made the roux. And I had quite a bit left over. So I said, well, if I've got that much left over, I'm going to use it for a thickening rather than make something all over again. And so that's what we're going to do. So when this soup stock is done, we'll put everything together. Took out the celery and the onions, blended the carrots and the bacon. It was my little handheld blender, and now I'm going to I'm going to take that roux that I was telling you about, and I shouldn't call it a roux. It's how I made the sauce. It's the sauce from my chicken fried steaks. So just 1 second. Now that I already blended the soup, the carrots in there, and and the potatoes, I left that, and the bacon. So I'm going to put that into this frying pan. Oh, there's a little potato it didn't catch. That's okay. So there's the soup that we made, our stock, with our carrots and our celery, onion, garlic. I put about, I'd say 6 cloves of garlic. And here's my cauliflower all ready to go. But what we're going to do is that gravy that I made. You know, you make a roux with butter and flour, and then you add milk. And that's what the sauce was for my chicken fried steaks. And so I had so much left over that I thought, well, heck, I'm just going to use that. It would be the same thing I would make. There was a little potato that wasn't quite. So there it is. All right, so I didn't blend all the carrots, the cauliflower. But I'll tell you, it's so simple. It just smashes down. Here's, I'm going to switch this so you can see. This is my soup pot that I'm going to add and it just breaks apart. And sometimes you just like to have a little bit of that, a little chunk of that. Okay, so now this is starting to simmer here. I'm going to take that sauce that I made, because this is just really, it thickens up, of course, as you can see. Now I can leave it here, I guess. And I'm going to blend that into this soup and let that just, this is what's going to make it nice and thick. And all that is butter, flour, and milk. And that was what constitutes that beautiful gravy that I had over my chicken fried steaks. Oh, that was so good. I hope that you will look for that recipe. I might have it in there by the end of this week, maybe. And then I showed very clearly how I did it, and I even did it with some onions. So you see how that looks? It's a creamy soup. It's just creamy, because that's what this is. If you've made a chicken fried steak, you know there's a gravy that you make, and it's just a little roux, and then you add the milk and you stir it up, and you just pour that over your chicken fried steaks. You could use this, as I was telling you in that video, that you can make that sauce for anything. And we put it over our chicken fried steak and our mashed potatoes. And that's what started me to thinking about making cauliflower soup. So, you know, when you're cooking and you have leftovers, now that worked out really nicely. I'm going to add this now to the soup pot, because this just, in fact, I'm going to taste that. Just where am I with that? That's pretty cool. Let's just see how that tastes. Oh my God. That's just divine. I think I might make it even add a little more to that. So let's just put that into the soup pot. And you can make this with any kind of soup. With asparagus, same thing. You know, I didn't put the cauliflower. I'm gonna thicken it one more time. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to just add one more time, because I only have one chicken fried steak left, so we have enough. We're going to share it tonight. There's that beautiful sauce, a gravy, but you know, it's a gravy that from the onion, and also when I fried the chicken fried steaks up, then I started a little roux in the middle of that pan, and it's 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of flour, and you make it like a little mashed potato, looks like a mashed potato, and you start adding your milk. And it was 2 cups of milk, and that time I took a cup of whole, no, a cup and a half of whole milk, and a half a cup of a half and half that I had. You know, you don't have to do that, but I had it, so that's what I did. Basically, you could just add 2 cups of whole milk. Some people do heavy cream, some people I do the half and half. So you see, look how that's coming together. And it's really so delicious. How can it not be? It's all butter and milk. And then we're going to add the cauliflower. So I made, you know, the regular, what you call a soup base, a stock with the vegetables, cooked it up, drained it a little bit. I'm just going to add a little bit more yet because I know we're never going to eat all that, and I hate to throw it out. And so I make a cream soup out of it. You can make that with asparagus, broccoli, cream of potato, all the same thing. All the same thing. You can steam your vegetables separately like I did. I put it in that little bacon fat, which I'm looking, again, I'm looking for flavor. This is perfect. I'm just going to do this like this. I think that's good enough. I'm going to simmer it all together. I'm going to add it now back to the soup pot. And that's that. And now I have this beautiful cream soup. Just absolutely delicious. I'm going to show that to you. Look at that soup. I mean, that's just beautiful. I can even add, I think, oh, I want a little bit left for my chicken fried steak that we're going to finish. But there it is, just a beautiful broth. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to add the cauliflower. Hi there. I added the cauliflower, and I did blend it with, you know, one of these handheld deals. I'm sure you might have one. I just put it in there, and I just blended the whole thing. I'm going to plate that up. I plated up that cauliflower soup that we made, and it's really wonderful. It's creamy, and you know what? There's a sweetness to it, and of course, it's the cauliflower, right? It's the cauliflower. It has, and look at this. This is delightful. And I did blend the whole thing at the end, you know. Somehow I thought, nah, maybe that is nice. It looks nice that way. So let me just try that soup, okay? It's so comforting. It's so good. I hope you try making that. What I wanted to tell you too is you don't have to put that creamy, you know, sauce that I had it left over, and so that's why it got so, it thickened it. But you don't have to do it. You don't have to add it. The way it was just after I added the cauliflower, it's just fine that way too. I hope you try my recipe.